this week, there are some very important dates with regards to our temple, the RRDS. Can anybody tell me what are they? Okay, somebody says, I didn't hear you. Good. Okay, our dear Swamiji Jai Satya would be coming to bless our mandir this Friday, 15th. And secondly, I mentioned Saraswati Jayanti, which is Thursday, and those children who have exams and things like that, I guess you would liaise with Mai and with Gita. And something else is this week, the 14th. 14th of February is what? Oh, Valentine's Day. Okay? Saraswati Ma, she's that energy. She's the common energy that flows through this creation. And our Swamiji also represents love. And Valentine's Day, again, is love. So won't love be a fitting topic for this morning? When we hear love, depending on where you are in life, there are different connotations, there are different emotions, there are different meanings as far as your life is concerned in relation to the word love. And while I was trying to put some thoughts together this morning at 3 a.m., 3 W's came to mind. And automatically 3 W's, Trinidad, West Indies, cricket. Yeah? We know those names, right? Legendary names. In cricket, the 3 W's are still names to be. And then I thought about 3 W's for this morning discourse. Love. What is love? Why should we love? And when do we love? So I'm taking the 3 W's and to put it together to explain love. And what is love? It is really, it's an emotion. Or you can say it's a strong emotion that represents how you give your affection from you to something or somebody. And almost always when you hear love, you think about a lover. That's just one minuscule use of the word love. In English, love, 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 love. In different languages, there are different words that represents the different shades of emotion of love. But in English, L-O-V is everything. It is also a virtue representing all of human kindness, compassion, and affection. So it's not just about you and an individual. It is all. And the third one, it is the unselfish, loyal, and benevolent concern for the good of another, and not necessarily a human being. And I like to give you an example that I have discovered when I used to be a working person, working for the government of Trinidad and Tobago. And one of the duties that Lord Shiva had me doing was to ensure that his creation, this creation, whom he is the Lord of, Lord Shiva is the Lord of the animal kingdom, which also includes plant life, flora and fauna. And one of my jobs was to ensure that these things are protected for your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. And in the process of doing that, I have discovered 1 minute people in love, one minute people love, and the next minute they slaughter in what God created. And that created a different emotion for me as an officer when I go out into the field. The same people who represent love, the same people who profess love and love for God and love for God's creation, and they were going outside and really destroying that which God has created for you and I to enjoy. When Brahma created this world, he was so pleased with what he created, and out of that joy, he created human beings to go and enjoy the world. He didn't create the scarlet ibis for you to go and kill. No. And I just scarlet ibis come to mind because it is one of the prominent colors in my head. Okay, and like that we could use it for everything. When he created it for you and I to enjoy it. He created this world with a complete niche. Everybody, you and I, have little spots to fit in Lord's creation. And we don't understand how important we are to the creation unless we figure out how important the creation is to us. Because in life we are placed in certain positions. And there are things above you and things below you. Things in front of you and things to the back of you. And anywhere that you deliberately create an imbalance, your life becomes a misery. And I'm not talking about the human beings around you, but everything that God created and put you, He put you in a perfect position for you to enjoy everything. But if through your own greed or your own selfishness, you destroy some of the things around you, you actually creating destruction for yourself. So love is this emotion, this feeling, this benevolence that we should have, that we should exude for everything around us. And this has, like I say, the human being is just one little part of this love. You must love the pigeon in your yard. You must love the doves. You must love the caterpillars on your frangipani tree. People don't understand. I see people go with spray cans and they're just killing all the caterpillars on your frangipani because it is cleaning your tree. You're not going to clean your frangipani tree, but God sent caterpillars in a form to come and clean your trees, and then they will give you some beautiful blossoms and beautiful butterflies. I'm just using some of these examples that we have around us. If you go to my backyard now, the frangipani trees are bereft of leaves. And if you see these beautiful, huge caterpillars, sometimes the sebab's blood's cold. But unless you understand what it is, only then you can give love. Only then you can love God's creation. And I always tell people, in all my years as a forest officer, as a wildlife officer, I've never seen anything that there was not beauty and there was not love. And I tell you, I live my life as an officer like that. So much so, and you ask hunters, and they would tell you, I've been hunting for 50 years and I've never seen this animal or that animal in the forest. And I would sit in the forest many times. Wild hogs will come around me, 20, 30 wild hogs around me. Deer would come, mangrove dogs will come, birds will come and be pecking at my boots. Because I sit there and I do not give any negative energy, I do not give out. You sit there and you feel God's creation and you enjoy God's creation. When you can exude that kind of emotion so that the wild animals outside would not be afraid of you and come to you, then you start doing something about this word that we call love. Love. Because we have to start with love. If you don't understand really this love that I'm speaking about, your life will not go on course. Because why should we love? Why should we love? Why should we love God's creation? Why should we love humankind? And Sanatana Dharma has beautifully given us all these beautiful formulas. Sri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama 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 Siya Ram सब जग जानी तरहु प्रणाम जो री जुग पानी श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम मंगल भवन मंगल हारी ध्रुव दशरथ अजर विनाशी।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
सतसंग विवेक न होई, राम कृपा मिलो सुलभ न सोई।
श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
I've taken 3 lines from various parts of Ramcharitmanas to display this emotion that I'm talking about. And one, Tulsidas gave us the formula for world peace. As a matter of fact, all religions claim to give you a similar formula for world peace. And how peaceful is this world today? How peaceful is it? Tulsidas is saying, recognize the divine, that God that you pray to. Recognize that divine in every creature, in every human being. And that's why we have this beautiful gesture that we greet. Pani Jori. You clasp your hands, you connect your energy together, and you send it out to others, to other human beings, and to God's creation. That is the love that Sanatana Dharma speaks about. And if this is what it speaks about, why should we do it? As a matter of fact, there are different types of love. And I said in English language it's difficult to define because everything is LOVE. But really, the emotion, it is different. And that love emotion in Sanatana Dharma, it is called Ras. Beautifully in Ramcharitmanas, Uttarakhand, the Char Ras is explained. The 4 high emotional ecstasies that a human being can experience. 1, when a vengeful person gets vengeance. Somebody only waiting for something to happen with you, and they say, oh, good, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it happened to him. If you didn't experience it, probably you observe it happen. But please do experience that. It's a very high rest. It's a very high emotion. And then the second rest, the second pitch of love is when the miser counts his money, or he take all his bank book and he adding them up to see if he reach how many millions, and he reach. When a miser counts his money, he experiences this love. So one is the vengeful person gets revenge. So it's a love for revenge. The miser has a love for money, his money. So that is also a ras. The third ras is when a lover meets his loved one. When the lover meets his loved one, he or she also experiences a high ecstasy in that emotion called ras. And when a devotee experiences God, it is also that same rest, that emotional love, that height, that climax of this emotion when a devotee experiences God. Which one is higher? Do you think it's supposed to have high and low in that, or all of them is the same? Tulsidas says, these char ras, these 4 ecstasies are exactly the same. So don't forget that you get your ecstasy by praying to God or by meeting your lover, and it's different from the person who get revenge, or it's different for when Atma counts his millions. It's the same. So these are equal rases. So this is the emotion, the heights that we could get out of these emotions. But why should we love? Tulsidas says, राम नाम मन दीप धरू, बजे हरी तुलसी भीतर बाहरो जो चाहत नाम पति रामचंद्र की जय शरण. And Tulsidas is saying, when you keep pleasant things, when you keep sweet things, when you keep joyous things on your lips, on your tongue, it lights inside of you and it lights outside of you. I'll use a negative example. You're just thinking bad thoughts about somebody on your tongue, as what we mentioned last day, from Uttarakhand. It creates bile, it creates phlegm, it creates so many things inside your system that your inside is lit with fire of illnesses. That's what we spoke about in the answer to the Sat Prashna. And today, Tulsis begin the other side of this version. If you want to maintain this beautiful balance as a human being, you keep the beautiful things on your tongue. Say nice things about people. Say nice things to people. When that beauty is on your tongue, your inside is experiencing ecstasy and your outside world is created. You have created, or you would create your outside world as you would love it to be. And when you have these beautiful positive things on your tongue, what happens? It reduces stress. Remember last week we spoke about what causes the stress, what causes the illness, and here you have these beautiful thoughts and words on your tongue. It reduces stress. It promotes mental health, because you run crazy when your head cloudy with thoughts, and especially vengeful, spiteful, negative thinking. It grung you off. It take off some of the screws in your head or slacken them. It lowers your chance of having cancer. When you have cancerous thought doesn't mean that I'm thinking cancer, you know. Cancerous thought is when you're thinking negative, bad things about people. You're creating for yourself that kind of illness. People don't understand that. You get it and you wonder why. Maybe I eat the wrong food. No, you put the wrong things inside your system. Within recent times, it has been proven that people who were diagnosed with cancer, critical condition, within 3 months they were able to heal themselves by keeping positive thoughts and happy thoughts and laughing and things like that. In 3 months, defies medical science. What I'm telling you, it is what it is. Fourth, it reduces pain. It improves blood circulation. It lowers blood pressure. It reduces the risk of heart disease. It improves our memory. It provides a sense of security. And finally, it raises your confidence. Aren't these 10 reasons enough for us to live our life as a manifestation of love? And this has nothing to do with romantic love. Like I said, that is only one minuscule part of love, because we're speaking about one person, whereas this entire creation, you are living your life as a manifestation of love, that you live your life like that. You, for yourself, would start enjoying complete, balanced human existence. And when do we love? Tulsidas gives us another beautiful doha in Balkan. Ram naam ko kab taru, kali kalyan जो सुमिरत भय भाग्यद से तुलसी तुलसीदास पति रामचंद्र जय. if you have decided that you should choose this pathway to enjoy these benefits in your human life, start by chanting the name of the Lord. The name of the Lord would immediately create a balance in your system. And what Tulsidas says, anything that you want, if you live your life with the 3 W's that I'm speaking about, anything that you would like in your life, it's yours for the taking. The name of the Lord in your life, conscientiously, subconsciously, would bring you, would give you the power to create whatever you want in life. We know God has made us the masters of our own destiny. But how do we enjoy this mastery? By utilizing, by letting your life be one of love. Live your life in such a way. And you can't profess to love your son, but you hate the neighbor's son. It can't happen. Love is not like a light switch, or you have 3 light switches, a different one controls there, one there, one there. No. If you generate love inside of you, it becomes unconditional. It should not be dependent on something else. There should not be another factor that determines how much your love is generated. It should be totally selfless. And when you start like that, or you start your morning with prayer, and within 2 hours, you're in a different mood that you can't even drink your own coffee because your mood gone so haywire with either somebody in the house or somebody in the road or something like that. It's a common thing. It's a common thing. We all make mistakes on the road when we drive. We all make mistakes. And sometimes you're wrong, and sometimes the other person is wrong. And many times, people would send down the glass to customers, and I would send down my glass, and I would say, sorry, babe, I apologize. And you would see the face that make up to tell me what I want to tell me, and you see it just balances off, and they would give you a smile. But if, as we do as Trinidadians, and you're wrong and strong on the road, what happens? Okay? The only time you fight fire with fire, if you can feel burning and you come in towards your house, you light the fire away from your house and let it go up. Other than that, nowhere else you fight fire with fire. So the Trinidad thing about fighting fire with fire, all it does is light the fire inside of your system where you destroy your own self. Because when you get angry and evil thoughts, like I said last week, you don't do the other person anything. You just create your own destruction. So with the name of the Lord, chanting the name of the Lord, thinking about God, coming to temple, doing all the good things, reach out. And very soon we'll be reaching out to one of our members who had a mishap in Kampu village. Okay? So very soon we'll be reaching out. That's what we need to do, reach out. I got an email, or I got something on Facebook about this fella who was working in a 5-star hotel, and he was doing the best. And when he observed the poverty and what was happening with destitution in the streets, he left his job, and he dedicated his life to cooking food and going and feeding and shaving the vagrants in the street, giving them a bath. Most of you would have seen it in Facebook. If you haven't seen it as yet, you will see it before in 24 hours. The thing about it is that is love manifest. When Tulsidas was asked to describe Ram, what he says? Ram keval pyara hai. All this, he is love. And we hear God is love. Yes, God is love. That's all he is, love. Then where is the negativity? You think God created negativity? That is one of the powers God gave you and I, to create what you want. And we created. He didn't give us that. Because we have powers. And that's when we do not use the powers that God gave us in the right way to benefit ourselves. That's what happens. So let us do our part, our little part. Because a lot of times we sit down and we say, we blame the government for this, that, we blame America for this, we blame England for that. that ain't going to help us. The blame game isn't going to help us. If in our little homes, in our little hearts, we can find the wisdom to start generating a little bit of love and start from inside of you. Many times people come to see me and I ask them, who is the most cherished person in your life? Who is the number one love in your life? And you hear all kind of fancy stories. And I will say, okay, and I will keep writing. I say, okay, yes, and the next one, and the next one. And you reach 7, 8, 9, and their name didn't show up at all. Yeah, it's typical Indian people behavior. Everybody else is more important. Today, I want you to start generating that little bit of love. And start first, love for yourself. It's only then, if I ask you for a shadow, a pink my shadow. You may make promises, but you could only give me it when you get it. And for those people in America, I would ask for a persimmon. You could only give me it if you have it. And how many of us give out love? We give love by the ton load, but you have none for yourself. It's an error. So today, and as we're coming up to give people some love on the 14th, Thursday, start by generating for yourself first. When you generate for yourself, then you can give it to your spouse, then you can give it to your children. And only then, when it overflows, could it reach the neighbors and your friends and your relatives. It must start with you. So start inside of yourself and start generating this love inside of you. Fill your life first. Only then you'll be able to share it with others. Boliye Siyapati Ramachandra ki jai.